You're fine.
We love seeing you.
Thank you.
Keep your face there.
You look great. Leave it alone.
Okay.
Thank
Let's see what we got here.
Hi, Herman.
Herman,
back.
hi.
Yeah, we are welcoming Herman back after a winter's hiatus, and Herman will be with us throughout the summer. And I'm sure that some of us are quite pleased. So that's good. Welcome to your other home, Herman, and it's good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Okay, now before we actually get started on major things, Doris, where are you? Your picture left. Where is Doris?
Congratulations, Doris.
Doris keeps bouncing around. Doris, where are you?
She's there.
If
I see
Doris
her.
chooses to make her presence known, she has an announcement to make. But she's not visible nor audible, but we'll catch up with her anyway. So I see Barbara. Good to see you, Barbara. And Merle and Steve Upright. Okay, that's great.
I'm usually upright on Saturday when Mona's.
I haven't seen you since last night. Okay, and Susie. All right, Natalie. Howard. Hi, Howard, you got to smile. Well, that sort of counts. Okay, Jim, Effie, Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
Hi.
Mara, maybe Harv, I don't know. And Herman is there. Karen and Ray are here. And okay, Doris, are you coming on?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but I'm here. I don't know what happened.
Kathy, oh, there you are.
There I am.
Doris,
There I am.
do you have an announcement to make?
Yes, I'm going to have a no.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to unmute yourself.
I thought I did.
Yes.
You're
You have
good.
to unmute
I can hear her
yourself,
now.
Doris.
Doris, you're good. I have a beautiful,
No,
gorgeous,
She
lovely,
doesn't want to
brand
unmute
new
herself.
baby.
I can't hear you,
baby
Doris.
grandson.
Doris,
Yeah.
We can hear her.
Congratulations.
I can't hear you.
We
Can you hear
can.
her?
We can all hear Doris just
Why
fine.
can't you hear me? I'm speaking. All right.
We
I have
can hear you.
Hear you.
All right. I'll start
We
again.
hear
She's
you,
gonna be
Doris.
telling us about a new grandson.
Yes.
And-
No,
and
Robert. And he's
As soon as the sound gets better, we will get to that. I see Dee Dee. Kathy Mendelson, where are you? Oh, up there in the corner. Kathy.
I don't understand why I'm not getting on.
Kathy, I'm
Everybody
having
on,
trouble.
we hear
People
you.
don't want to talk to me.
The rabbi.
I take this very personally.
Maybe it's you.
I can't hear people.
We're hearing everyone.
I
Stan.
can't
Yes.
hear people. Is that what it is?
We're
You
hearing
can hear
everyone.
Doris and I can't?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can hear
Yes.
me.
Wow.
My sound is on. Yeah.
What do I do
You're
with that? Reboot. All right. Goodbye, everybody. All right.
Yeah, because we can hear everybody.
We can hear you
just fine.
perfectly, Doris.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for asking. I have a brand new baby grandson. He's a lovely boy. He was born May 31st. I actually have another announcement. My granddaughter Anya graduated high school yesterday.
Oh, Mazel tov.
She's going to Sarah Lawrence in the fall. Yeah.
Wow, that is
Fabulous.
So I'm losing one and I'm getting another one. That's what's happening.
Mazel tov.
Thank you very
As
much.
long as we're making announcements, I've got one also.
Yeah.
Number one, B's number one grandson, Morgan. Some of you know him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
married July 1st.
Mary?
What?
Great.
Married.
Wow.
Fabulous.
Herman.
The little guy who used to run around University.
Right. Right. That was her
Yeah,
favorite.
he's getting married July 1st.
They-
Oh, Herman.
Do they live in California?
Yeah, they live up in the Bay Area.
Mazel tov to be.
Thank you.
Well, lots of good news, huh?
I'm having a poem published.
Mazel tov to you.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Where, Mona?
in American Writers Review.
Cool.
Wow,
That's great. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you. For
fantastic.
a much better.
Laura,
life, but-
I mean, Mona,
Mhm.
Mona, is your book fiction or nonfiction?
It's a poem, and it's
Poem.
actually biographical. It's a poem about my dad.
Oh,
Oh, neat.
nice. Really?
Is it available online?
No, but I can send it to you.
We all want to see it.
Yeah, why don't you send it to the group?
We'd love
Well,
to see it.
I would do that, except then I would feel guilty because American Writers Review is hardly breaking even.
That's okay. We are interested. We're all interested.
We'd love to see it.
But I'm not hearing a resounding commitment to run out and buy this literary magazine when the poem is published. That's what I'm trying to express in a polite fashion.
We can do that.
May I suggest that you put their website into the chat so that we can order one, any of us who wishes to support you and the publisher.
Yeah.
That's very nice. I just found out that it would be included, and I don't even know which issue it's going to be in. So this is brand new news. But
Fabulous.
when I have the dates and everything, I will do that. That's an
Good.
excellent suggestion.
Thank you.
Good.
Lots of good news today, huh? Lovely.
Huh.
Susie, what happened? Did you have surgery?
I decided that Pinocchio was getting too
No,
much.
no, no. Too much lying, huh?
I had some Mo's done on my nose, and it's okay. Everything is okay.
Stanley.
Just gonna take a little while with this bandage, and then I'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. As long as they could get it.
Oh yeah, they got every speck of it. I told the group before you came on, Barbara, so we're all good. You're bearing with looking at me in the bandage.
Well, I've had surgery on my nose for,
Okay, can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear me? I cannot hear you. Can you, somebody say something?
Hello.
we're saying something.
Check your,
Okay,
check
I
your
don't hear
audio
anybody.
settings.
I am really sorry.
It's on your end.
I have
Rabbi,
no
because we're all-
clue.
You need to check your
As
audio.
to what's
Yeah.
going on.
Check your audio.
I have no clue.
We can hear you.
You can't hear us.
I can hear now.
Yeah. Okay. You can hear us now? Okay. It was probably your audio.
Mendelssohn,
Yeah.
you wanted to say something, Kathy?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Great.
Okay, good.
We can hear you, but
We
you
can
can't
hear
hear
you
us.
too.
Okay, Kathy, are you there?
Kathy is muted.
Okay.
Unmute, Kathy.
All right. While we're waiting for that, I did try to start off by moving over to, where is she now? Doris. Okay, Doris, you have an announcement.
I already made it.
I didn't hear it.
You want me to do it again, everybody?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry to repeat it, but okay. We have a new baby grandson named Noah Robert, who was born March 31st, and he's doing very well. His parents are doing great. And,
March 31st?
Billy's baby. Billy's
May
Mark,
31st.
Mark's daughter, Anya, graduated high school yesterday and is heading off to Sarah Lawrence in the fall. And they're going on a safari for a month before that. So
Wow.
That's great. Mazal tov, mazal
thank you.
tov.
Thank you. Glad everybody heard me twice. I'm
I
sorry.
didn't. I heard you once, and after all, I'm the rabbi.
That's
So
right. That's what
gotta-
counts. Thank you.
gotta
Rabbi.
count for something.
And
And-
you missed Mona's announcement as well.
I miss Mona. Mona, what did you denounce?
What happened to Mona?
I announced that I'm going to have a poem published in American Writers Review, and I don't yet know the date of publication, and people were extremely gracious.
That's great. You know what we ought to do? We ought to publish a list of publications from this group. This is a really interesting group of people. Okay, all right, that's cool. Now I have to get started and get myself organized again. Reese and I celebrated the graduation of our youngest grandchild from Browerman. So now we have no one in grade school. And so we're moving into junior high, 7th grade, into postgraduate, and we're aging rapidly.
Mazel tov to you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I didn't do much except show up and bring a gift. But you know,
That's important.
I know. And that's cool. Okay, any other checking in? Howard?
The two of my grandsons went through the confirmation ceremony at the Olympic Boulevard, Wilshire Boulevard Temple last weekend, and it was kind of neat. And one of them mentioned Rabbi Davids in his speech. All the kids gave very nice speeches.
Only one kid mentioned me?
One, yeah, Michael. He mentioned you. I don't know how many times he's attended your class, but he said that you were a great influence on him.
Okay, thank you. Send him my regards, please.
Thank you.
Okay, any other checking in, things happening? Seeing none, we're going to go to calendar. From what I understand, The Life of Pi is going to be showing and discussed Saturday evening. Jim?
That's right. It's a remarkable film. I just remembered that it was originally shot for 3D. So I don't imagine we have many 3D projectors at home. But it's a remarkable film. It's very profound because it's on the surface, it just looks like a survival tale. But it's really about a young boy becoming a man and realizing the importance of connection. In his case, it's with a tiger on a lifeboat after a shipwreck where he loses his family. But then the film becomes a parable for religious seeking and the nature of God in our lives, if we choose to see it that way. And it asks some very central questions about our need for other people, our process of getting to know someone or something like the tiger, the changing of relationships. And it's the kind of wonderful, beautiful, stunning film that will take you in so much. You will glean your own meanings from it. And if you can't join the discussion, that's fine, but I do suggest you see it again. It's around 11 years old, won 4 Oscars, directed by Ang Lee, and it's a really lovely experience.
Thank you very, very much. That's fantastic. And as I said last week, we in this household are in love with that film. It's a great film and a great story and a great tiger.
There were 4 of them, but most of it was CGI.
I don't want to hear that, okay? No, not CGI. They were actually there, and I believe it. Okay, now, any other, Cindy, any other announcements?
No.
Okay, all right, that then. Noon on June 22nd is the last current events program of the year. Steve, be quiet, please. June 22nd is the last one. Steve wants it to continue all during the summer. Cindy said to me, I'm going to be bored. What am I going to do? And somehow I'm not the, what is that person called in the camp that organizes all the activities and everything?
Program director.
Whatever. Is that what I am? I may have to revisit it. But anyway, so it's been a great run. June 22nd, noon will be the last one for the season, and then we'll open up again. Any other calendar, any other personal stuff before we begin?
Well, as long as everyone's talking about their grandchildren and everything they've accomplished, last night was the first of 5 dance recitals for both girls. And they surprised us and threw in a solo in the middle of one of the opening numbers, which they never do with the younger kids. And Gabby did part of what she's doing tonight and tomorrow with her professional group and shocked us all because her parents didn't even know, and Sharon works at the studio. So that was kind of cool. And I cried a lot. I have bags now from exhaustion under my eyes, but it was worth every piece of tear to see them showcased, because they don't normally showcase kids except for graduating seniors, which they aren't.
That's
So-
fabulous. And you know the Yiddish expression, Kleib Nachas. Do you know the term?
I've heard Nachas, but I don't know what
Clive
Clive is.
Nachas, very important. Kleib Nachas Miner Kinder, to derive pleasure, I guess, pleasure from our children or grandchildren. Kleib Nachas. It's a very important thing that needs to be transmitted, like the Talmud, from generation.
I wanted to ask Merle, how old are the grandchildren that are dancing?
Oh, can we please
Gabby,
start?
Gabby's who's in the professional tap group, is 11 and a half. And Sasha is 9 and 9 and a half. And Sasha, besides all this dancing, is #1 in the United States for her age level and belt level for karate.
Wow. Wow.
So we're not sure where all this talent came from. Somewhere deep in the
Not either.
somewhere
Rabbi,
deep in the
we've lost a
ancestral
third of
blood.
our time. Rabbi, we've lost a third of our time. It's already 20 after.
Okay.
Okay, let's get with the program.
It's really good to speak with you, Effie. How you doing, guy? The Sedra Naso is filled with wonderful accounts that we could spend time on and attention. I looked over my notes for the past few years, and we covered in the last 3 years major topics. So I decided to dive deeply into certain things. So, for example, the Sedra, our Sedra, is completing a census. And in completing the census, it mentions one person who is the Nasi of each of the tribes. And it's just the word Nasi could mean prince, could mean chieftain. It designates the leader of the tribe. So of the Schwartz tribe, Hank is there, the chieftain of the Schwartz tribe. And every tribe is listed with its chieftain. Now, this is on page 932, Numbers chapter 7, verse 10 and 11. The commentators note that they felt when reading the lists that the authors of the text expected us to know the chieftains being named. Again, it's number 7, 10 to 11, page 93, 932 in the New Plow. Now,
What about the woman's book?
I don't have that here, and I will. I will in a second. That's a perfectly reasonable thing, and I even know how to find it. So number 7, and we are on page 800. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. So we're going to chapter 7, 10 to 11. Chapter 7, 10 is on page 830 in the
Thank
Women's
you.
Column. 830. Now, the commentators seem to feel that the text expects us to know who the chieftains were. And they begin to work through their own way of explaining it. Maybe we know Nachshon and from other stories, but how do we know these people? In Bamidbar Rabbah, which is a standard major rabbinic midrash on the book of Numbers. Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, Rabbah, that's the name of a great midrash collection. Listen to what it says. These were the people Pharaoh appointed to be the intermediary between the taskmasters and the people in Egypt. I want you to get, when I started reading this, what my mind immediately went to. You have the taskmaster who represents Pharaoh. The taskmaster, for example, tells these chieftains what is expected of their people, the tally of the bricks, the nature of the work, what jobs have to be done this day. And if the people failed to perform up to the quota assigned, the taskmaster punished the Naso, the chieftain. Please, folks, follow me. What images come to your mind? Harvey.
In the Shoah, the kapos, the Jewish, I would call them police in the camps, I would think would be very comparable, at least to me.
This is one of the most difficult among many. It's in the list of the most difficult things to comprehend and to define how we would ourselves respond. These representatives of the Jewish community or leaders of the Jewish community were instruments of the Nazis in their oppression and in fact, killing of Jews. They maintained their position often because they wanted to stay alive. They were mistrusted and hated by the people they were supposed to speak for, and they were puppets in the hands of the Nazi representation. The rabbis in Bamidbar Rabbah are saying that these chieftains in the Exodus were the people who played the very same role. They took the orders from the taskmasters. They imposed it on the people, knowing that if the people didn't perform up to the numbers expected, the ones who would be punished would be the Nesiim, would be the chieftains. How does that fit into what's going on here? According to the rabbis in Bamidbar Rabbah, the chieftain in each tribe is mentioned first because the chieftain must bring the first sacrifice as an atonement for the work that he did. What happens to a chieftain in this setting after the Egyptians are defeated? What happens? You know, we don't know. We're creating midrash. What do you think, Sue?
I would think they'd want revenge for all the oppression that they have caused in the past.
Thank you. Yeah, Steve?
Actually, I wanted to make a different point because we're looking at a very bad example. But if you've ever worked in a factory, This is a very typical management structure. You have a foreman who is taken out of the union ranks and becomes the intermediary to do management's bidding. And the hope is because he came out of the union ranks, the people will still respect him, but that's who runs the line. So it doesn't have to always, and actually they're very good for the workers. And if they do their job well, they're good for management. So it's not always the case that it devolves into what we're talking about here or what happened during the Holocaust.
Okay, let's see, I saw Mara this time. Okay, it's hard to know.
Good.
I'm not sure if this is an appropriate or answerable question, but why does the commentary go in this direction when you look at the text? There's no indication in the text that these chieftains or princes were doing anything but positive acts.
I'm going to ask you collectively, as the worlds will now begin to say, I'm going to ask you all to try to answer that question. Why would the medieval and early during the Midrashic periods, why would they head in this direction? What do you think? We don't know, okay? So that makes it fun. All of you are right, whatever you say, which is unusual. Sue Casa.
I think, if you look at today's political situation, if things aren't good, who do you blame? You blame the people in power, because those are the people that are available to blame. I think I'm thinking of another instance when the Jews were made to collect the taxes.
Yes.
And so obviously they didn't levy the taxes, but they had to collect them. So who are you going to blame? You're going to blame the guy who goes and collects the taxes.
And I not only that, Sue, if I could drop in here, the leaders of the Judenrat, the leaders of the Jewish the community, the intermediaries between the taskmasters and the tribes, two different periods, probably led a little bit more comfortable lives. They had better food, better treatment than the masses. The masses would naturally resent it, even though they had to play with it. And this is where you bribe and you make friendships and you get deals because you knew and whatever. It is a very emotionally difficult thing. Howard. I think Howard surrendered.
Got it. I can't figure out it in the text. I'm missing where does it say that there's taskmasters? I see the chieftains, but where does it say they're taskmasters?
They're not there. The point of it, Howard, is the rabbis asked the initial question, why is it they felt when reading the text that the names of the chieftains were supposed to be known to us? And they then extrapolated back to the Egyptian experience with the taskmaster. They're out of Egypt. They're no longer under the control of taskmasters. But these people are still here. Were these the people who served as the instruments, the puppets dangling, the marionettes from the Egyptian taskmasters? And if so, what would this mean?
So the chieftains, they're speculating, might have been the taskmasters earlier.
No, the taskmasters, the chieftains would have been the intermediaries between the taskmasters and the people.
Oh, the intermediaries, like the capos.
Oh, yeah, totally. Now, I asked the question, why were the rabbis inclined to think of organizational structures like that? And I'm going to offer the Stanley Davids totally unfounded, extrapolated from air statement. Maybe they were living in a similar environment. That certainly in the Middle Ages, certainly in earlier periods, this kind of structure was not unusual. They were using, if you go even to the Golden Age in Spain and Shmuel Hanagid and other people, this was a normal pattern that an oppressed people had. Several people were the representatives of the community for better and for worse. Merle.
I was going to say also, when you look at, there's always going to be somebody who's a boss, whether they like it or not, and they end up in that position. But no matter what you're doing in real life, whether it was then or now, somebody's always looking for a scapegoat. And the scapegoat, unfortunately, gets stuck with all the bad vibes from everyone because they believe whoever this taskmaster is.
I was attracted to this midrash, not because I believe it to be true, but because we've already come up with a variety of different ways in which this paradigm of structure, labor unions, factories, slavery, capos during the Holocaust, this is not an unusual form of structure. And trying to use the occasion to talk about how the chieftains were viewed by the people, and also in a top-down structure, how the people at the bottom view the people who are above them and control them on behalf of people who are above them and control them. It's a ladder of resentment, up and down. I will now proceed to cough. Okay, that was the first point, and a way of looking at what appeared to be unordinary. Please, Marv, Harvey, what?
If the rabbis came up with this, then it was the rabbis who were resentful in the structure, assuming that what we're reading was simply written by scribes or rabbis?
Scribes, not rabbis. I would suspect that in many communities, the rabbis were precisely the intermediaries. They might very well be describing their relationships up and down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's just a maybe. Hey, hypothetical. I think it's a brilliant insight, but it's hypothetical. Okay? And we're going to move on unless there's a question. Next point. We've talked, as a matter of fact, we did last year, about Nazarites, about the Nazarite, the Nazir, the one who takes an oath or a vow to limit himself or herself from certain normative pleasures. So, for example, getting a haircut. So, for example, eating any product of the grape, whether it's a leaf, it's the skin of the grape, it's grape juice, it's wine, all of it is no. Being able to attend to the dead and to take care of family needs, all of that was to be set aside in the Nazarite period. We did this. Now, today, and there is no Women of Reformed Judaism commentary for this, we are going to look at the Haftarah. which we have not looked at, and the Haftarah, Judges chapter 2. Oh, excuse me, Judges, yeah. In the book of Judges, and we look at 947. 947. Okay, 947. And this Haftarah found in the Reform Prayer Book talks about Samson. Talks about Samson. This is page 947. Who can tell me the story of Samson? Who can tell me? Steve.
Samson essentially was a Nazarite, long hair, great strength, and protector of the community, and protecting them from the Philistines. The Philistines designated Delilah to find out the source of his power so that they could get control back, and she seduces Samson, learns his secret, cuts off his hair. He ends up being blind, but at the very end, he's able to bring the structures down to defeat the Philistines yet again.
Perfect, and thank you. That's a very, very good summary. And what I want to do, page 947, I need someone to read verses 2 through 5. We're going to read the Haftarah and analyze it as if it were a Torah text. Who wants to be our first reader? Thank you. No one's hand is up. Counting backwards. Okay, Mona, thank you.
Okay. There was a man named Manoah from Zorah. He was of a Danite clan, and his wife was barren, never having given birth. One day, an angel of the Eternal appeared to the woman and said to her, "Yes, you are barren and unable till now to have children, but you shall be pregnant and give birth to a son. Take care not to drink wine or beer or eat anything impure, for you shall soon be pregnant and give birth to a boy. His hair is never to be cut, because from the womb he is God's Nazarite. He will begin to liberate Israel from the hands of the Philistines."
There's so much here. There's so much here. By the way, the language in the book of Judges and the language of this story is kind of simplistic. It's kind of sort of ish naive. But what's going on? Does this story sound familiar to you?
Yeah. It sounds like the angel who came to Sarah. And
Oh,
said, "You're
I
gonna
thought it
have-"
was the angel who came to Mary. But okay.
That one too.
That one too. Oh, I thought it was the one who came to the Hannah, the mother of Samuel.
Yes, that one too.
That one too. So here you have a formulaic introduction of divine intervention. God is running around making these women pregnant. And, you know, if you want to know what God does during the off hours, I think the best answer would be, don't ask. Don't ask, because strange things are happening. So you are barren, unable, until now. That's put in by the translator. I don't know why he put it in. Okay. Unable to have children, but you shall be pregnant and give birth to a son. So this is no need for any kind of X-ray exploration, because she knows it's going to be a boy before she gets pregnant, which is really, you know, pretty interesting. Don't drink, don't eat anything impure, and you're going to give birth. His hair is never to be cut. He is God's Nazarite. What does that strike you as? The term God's Nazarite. God's Nazarite. What does that mean? Steve.
It suggests that these activities are how he's supposed to serve God, which, as we discussed yesterday, doesn't quite make sense to me. Okay,
but here what we have, normally speaking, the Nazirite man or woman makes an individual decision for themselves. Here, God is saying, you, to the mother, be a Nazirite, and your son will be my Nazirite. No one's going to ask the kid, my Nazirite. Okay? Now, here, so forth. Look at the end of it. He is God's Nazirite, and the Hebrew is clear here. He will begin to liberate Israel from the hand of the Philistines. Tell me about that phrase. He will begin to liberate Israel from the hand of the Philistines. What does that do for you? What do you hear in that phrase? Steve, I'm going to try to just give, just see if anyone else is going to raise a hand. He will begin to liberate Israel from the hand of the Philistines. Okay, Steve, go for it.
That there's an extended struggle between these groups, and it's going to go on for a long time, and ultimately, many years from here, the Israelites win when David defeats Goliath.
That is precisely and narrowly correct. This is a process that will only end when David defeats the Philistines, defeats Goliath. David takes control. So this Nazirite of God is an instrument in the process. When I read the stories in the book of Judges, maybe this is not the right word, but I feel like I'm reading pericopes, little segments, stories that stand free, stand independent, and kind of were created to fill in the gaps before the establishment of the kingdom and so forth. I mean, this is sort of, the stories in the book of Judges don't lead one to the other. They are freestanding. Here is Samson. Samson's going to be born. He plays a role. He lives, he dies, boom, it's over. But the last sentence puts him in a retrospective strain that the editor has created to lock the stories in a direction. All of these people played a role in the process, which then is fully developed with David and beyond. Did that make any sense to you? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? That sentence shows me that the editors saw this plugged-in story as part of the narrative, probably because these stories were widely known throughout the ancient world. The Israelites had their story, and they plugged it in. I don't know. This is how I would go with it. Verse 6, who's going to read? Shelley, you going to read? You going to read? No. Okay. Who's going to read next? Verse 6 and following, the next little section. Okay, Cindy, do you want to read? Thank you. Okay, we're on.
I have the women's commentary, so I don't have.
I'm sorry. My fault. My bad. Anyone else want to read? Okay.
I'll read.
So go ahead.
I'll read. Okay. Moses took the carts and the oxen and gave them to the Levites. 2 carts and 4 oxen he gave to the Gershonites are required for.
You're in the wrong.
I'm in the wrong place.
We're on page 9 in the Plouch. We're on 940.
Oh, I'm not in that book. I'm in the regular Torah.
Okay. Sukasa, do you want to read, please?
Sure. The woman went and told her husband, "A man of God came to me. He looked like an angel of God, very frightening. I didn't ask him where he had come from, and he didn't tell me his name. All he said to me was this: you shall soon be pregnant and give birth to a boy. You are not to drink wine or beer or eat impure food, because the boy shall be God's Nazarite from the womb to the day of his death. It's like she's just retelling this exactly what she thought she heard.
Okay, Tamara, jump in.
Not exactly, because he leaves out his destiny. She doesn't mention what he's going to do.
And what about the hair?
Right. I didn't pay attention to that, but you're right.
And in my situation, I pay close attention to a disappearing phenomenon. Yes, right. So the destiny isn't clear, throws in the notion until the day of his death, must have scared the husband a lot. Tell me about the woman went and told her husband. Talk to me about that. What's going on here? What do you think relationship-wise, ancient Middle East? Mara.
It's a reversal of what you would expect. A woman being given voice, and the man has no voice.
Yes.
It's also an interesting inversion of Adam and Eve.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you, because Adam gets the prohibition and is the one who relays it to Eve. Is that what you're?
Yes.
Okay, yep, absolutely. And you understand, Mara, that this makes the text wrong. By speaking to the woman, the angel screwed up. He should.
I suspect a female scribe snuck in at this point.
Okay, all right. So the woman went and told her husband. Merle.
The implication that God is controlling this woman and told her to go tell her husband. I mean, why else would she have gone and told her husband unless she was having some dream and she felt she needed to discuss it with someone?
Okay, but it doesn't say that the angel told her to check it out with the husband.
No, but that's midrash.
Yes, and it's the midrash of Reb Merle. Yeah. All right. A man of God came to me, Ish ha-Elohim. Umarehu kumarem malach Elohim. A man of God came to me. He had the appearance of an angel. Tell me about what that says. I mean, it's all fascinating. What does that mean? Do you know what angel? Ray.
Yeah, it's Jacob.
Mid to late drash then. Mid. Oh, Ray, that was a joke? Yes. Okay.
My apologies.
It wasn't one of your great ones, but it's a joke. I mean, that's fine. Steve.
Well, among other things, it suggests that maybe because of fear or whatever, when angels of God come to communicate with people, they appear in human form.
Yep. And in a way, Steve, she kind of indicates she knows what an angel should look like. Right?
Right.
He kind of looked like an angel. I mean, she had some sort of vision as to what angels look like. Okay, moving forward, he looked like an angel, very frightening. I didn't ask him where he had come from, and I didn't ask his name. Tell me about Jacob wrestling with an angel. Tell me your name. I want to know who you are. These stories of meeting with angels have all kinds of interesting parallels, okay? Where he came from? Akron, Ohio? I mean, where did he come from? He said to me this, you're going to be present, don't drink wine, the boy will be God's Nazarite. This is a totally upside down story, fascinating in its own. We have to go look at verse 8, just this. Manoach, his name, Manoach turned to God in prayer saying, God, please let your messenger return to us and teach us how to bring up the kid. What is he saying? What is he really saying? God, my lightheaded wife, all women are like that, had this supposed encounter with an angel. God, talk to me, I'm the man. Tell me again so I'll know what really happens. That's what's going on here. So Manoach is saying, cool. The wife got honey, I just got a call from an angel. Sure, babe. Okay. Why don't you take a nap and everything will be ready tomorrow morning. Tamara?
But it gets even better because the angel shows up again to the woman.
Yes.
Not to the man.
Yes. And I would say that Manoach is having a hard day. But okay. God listened to Manoach's prayer. The angel returned to whom?
The woman.
As she was sitting in the field. And once again, Manoach wasn't there. God isn't messing around. He's sending his angels to the woman. This is a heretical text. This is just, and not seriously heretic. It's pure fun. It is pure fun. It's interesting how the twist occurs. So this time, look what happens in verse 10. Boy, does she learn quickly. The angel shows up. The woman runs to her husband. Manoach, it happened again. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't want it to happen. I know you wanted to be there, but he came to me. Come on, join us. Nothing has been said yet. Come, join us. The man came here, has shown up again. So Manoach, what? What does he do? Vayelech Manoach acharei ishto. And Manoach went, followed his wife. Honey, take me to the angel. Take me to where he is. Okay, came to the man. And he says, now he's asserting his male prerogative. Are you the guy who's been talking to my wife? Okay, fine. Yes, I am. Okay, may your words come true. How should we raise the kid? Verse 13, your wife must do exactly as I instructed her. Exactly as I instructed her. Leaves out the hair again. Very, very interesting. So now, and we're running against time, but the story is so good. Manoach said to the angel, wait, sit, we'll make some food for you. You've got to feed angels. It's a very important thing. Abraham did it, set an example. The angel said to him, even if you were to tame me, I couldn't eat. If you want to make a burnt offering, offer it to God. There's a good messenger. Don't, it's my master. I'm just an angel. I got a job. I'm just an angel. By the way, Mona, if this isn't a script for a play, nothing is. Do you understand? Mona, nothing. This is it. Okay, now, Manoach says to the angel, now, what is your name? The wife never asked. We would like to honor you when your words come true. Why is it, said the angel, that you ask my name? I do not know what the translator had in mind when he put in, it belongs to another order. I have no idea what that means. The Hebrew says, why do you ask for my name? It's wondrous. Why not just say it's wondrous? But he says it belongs to another order. It's Okay, we're going to let it go because of time. So look what happens. Manoach takes the goat and the grain and put it on a rock and offered it up to the Eternal. Look, as Manoach and his wife watched, they saw something extraordinary. As the flame rose skyward from the altar, Mona, look at this. As the flame rose skyward from the altar, the angel went up in the flame. And seeing this, they threw themselves down on the ground. Only then did thick-headed Manoach, I put in thick-headed, understand that this was truly an angel of the Eternal. And never again did the angel appear. So Manoach turned to his wife, we're toast. We're going to die. Do you see what just happened? We're going to die. We've seen a divine being. The wife who is in control. Honey, if God had wanted to kill us, he would have killed us already. It's not going to happen. And he wouldn't have shown us all this. In time, the woman gave birth to a child, called him Samson. He grew up with the blessing of God. The Spirit of the Eternal moved him. Okay, now, and there's more of the story of Samson. It's a wonderful story. Stop for a second. What is Samson's name in Hebrew? What is it? Shimshon. Shimshon. Does anyone want to pursue this? What's the root of the word Shimshon?
Shemesh.
Who said that?
Mona did.
Shemesh, son.
Shemesh. So Samson, doesn't see it in the English, is named the sun bearer, the sun, S-U-N. Oh, what's the name of the woman who does him in?
Delilah.
What's the root of that word?
Night, Lila.
Night. This is a wonderful fable. Light against darkness, sun against the night, light, whatever, darkness. This is that kind of a legend among the people. The struggle of light against the forces of darkness. Sukasa, and we're going to end.
I'm wondering, why they never give the woman, she's the star of the story, and yet we don't know her name. And
She's
we know
a
her.
woman. What do you want?
So, I mean, that's, yeah, okay. I get it.
I think one of the things that Midrash, I know, by the way, that Mara has done this. One of the things that Midrash can do is make known women's names.
Mm-hmm.
Even it has to be a creative activity. Know me by name, not just the woman. In the Torah, too often, it's the woman. Know me by name. I have a name. And this goes on. Forgive me for enjoying the story of Samson. I like it a lot. And there's so many, the Samson kills 1,000 with the jawbone of an ass. I love it. Samson has incredible powers. The rabbis will never forgive Samson for his last dying words. Will never forgive him. Mona, are you paying attention? His last dying words. Oh God, thank you for being with me. Remember to bring your vengeance for what has happened to me upon the Philistines. And the rabbis go ape. Why? Hey, you're becoming a martyr. You're dying for your people. Could you at least pray for your people? God, take vengeance on the Philistines for what they did to me. Steve Miller, closing note. I'm going to do Kaddish.
I just want to say that missing from that is it wasn't done to him. he willingly got into this relationship, disclosed his weakness, and was seduced into betraying his people, essentially.
Okay. Samson's a great guy. How many peoples in the ancient world had a massively strong man as a figure in their move to power?
All of them.
Everyone did.
I don't want to say all of them because I don't know all, but I'm going to accept your answer. Yes. Yeah. Everybody has
Hercules.
this, the hero, the big man, right? Who is going to be the Goliath, be the Samson. This is a story directly out of the folk tales of the ancient Near East, and it celebrates a step in the process for David doing what David did to create the kingdom and to push back the Philistines. It fills in the gap. Who were the leaders of the people after Aaron and Moses were all dead? The judges. They did not go directly into a kingdom. And you had Deborah, a judge, Samson, a judge, even though there's nothing in the text that has Samson sitting and judging the way Deborah did. It's like a beautiful collection of morality stories that people should enjoy. And that's where it is. So we're going to go now to Kaddish. And again, thank you for indulging me. Yes, I had a good time. And the story of Samson, good stuff, very good stuff. We are now going to say Kaddish. First, for those who have passed away during the past month: Jessica Bayer, Robert Bob Feldman, Ronald Fishman, Jay Goldberg, Helen Roseman, Frank Rosenblum, Sylvia Schlosser, Myron Mike Sholem, Ralph Silberman, Sonia Wallen, Joseph David Weissman, Joanne Wolf, Bert Zweig. And the anniversaries have been observed during this past week: Sandra Aisley, Marion Paula Albert, Raymond Alpert, Lillian Baker, Abraham Barbaro, Harold Benjamin, Susan Blum, Theodore Brenner, Kenneth Brookman, Cheryl Chetta, David Chernoff, Bernard Cooper, Nisha Dane, Charles Daum, Bessie Enton, Mary Epstein. Burton Fine, Harry Feldman, Sarah Fields, Barry Fisher, Terry Ann Fox Tree, Marlene Friedman, Alice Friedman, Dorothy Gerstein, Lori Gompers, Shayla Green, Joanne Greenwald, Louis Hausman, Eleanor Heilbronn, Louis Itzkowitz, Erwin Jameson, Mary Janol, Edith Jaredish, William Cates, Eddie Katz, Barbara Kaiser, Helen Klein, Alan Kopelman, Lenore Jacobson Kunz, Nora Landa, Ida Lehman, Robert Leff, Ronald Leaf, Dvorah Livnit, Ruth Lunin, Stephanie Leiberger, Cyril Isaac Magnan, Donald Earl Marin, Mitchell Moore, Melvin Morgan, Darcy Notkin, Leo Orston, Sidel Perlman, Michael Phillips, Richard Popkin, Bessie Provisor, Blanche Isaacson Pullman, Kenneth Randall, Marguerite Rissman, Herbert Rose Sr., Sue Rosenberg, Marcia Rosenoff, Donald Rossman, Iris Trebach Rower, Mabel Samter, Al Savid, Frank Schiller, Betty Schwartz, Anna Siegel, Samuel Shamstein, Evelyn Sidney, Francis Silver, Cynthia Silverstein, Morton Slater, Ray Slutsky, Cecilia Sonnenberg, Ruth Spielberg, Charles Stern, Lawrence Tapper, George Topus, Jerry Wendy Turtle, Rose Vitoff. Sarah Wagner, Jack Waldo, Alex Weisskopf, Arlene Weeder, Sally Weiner, Marvin Wolf, Hortense Wolf, Frank Zaitchik, Jill Sue Zuboff. We mention as well those who died in defense of the United States, those who died in defense of the state of Israel, those who died through senseless acts of terror and warfare, those who died with no one to remember them. I apologize for mispronunciations. If you have other names to be offered at this time, please speak those names aloud or in your hearts. And we say together, Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Yirabah, Yalmah, Dibra, Te, Malchute, B'chayechon, Mechon, B'chaye Nechol, Israel, B'Adamah, Zman Toriv, Amen. Yehi Shmei, Rabba Babarach, Yalam Le'omei Almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Yitbar, Yitbam, Yitnaseh, Yitadar, Aleh, Yitalal, Made Kurisha, Rich, the Elam Minkol Berzata, Vishirata, Nechamata, Yamrat Yalma, Yitru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chayim, Aleinu V'yal Israel, V'imru Amen.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom Romav, Uya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'yal Israel, V'imru Amen.
Amen.
May God, who makes peace in the high places, make peace in our hearts, make peace in our homes, make peace in the household of Israel, make peace among all the families and nations of earth, and let us say,
Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to be together. Be Samson. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good Shabbos.
Da Rabbah.
Shabbat shalom.
Todah.